Welcome to the Everyday Expertise podcast. I'm the host, Roland Martin. I took part of my conversation with Ricky Martin from the first episode and provided it here as a brief description of what Everyday Expertise is all about. Here it is now.
You had sent me like a little blurb or whatever about what this podcast is about, and there was a quote that kind of I would say is maybe like a theme of the podcast. So can you kind of expound on what the, I guess, the theme or the idea behind this podcast is?
Yeah. So how I came to the theme was I'd started listening to a podcast that was what's sometimes called long form media or long form conversations, and had really started to enjoy just 2 or 3 people having a long conversation and going deep on a topic, or having a conversation where they go back and forth. And I don't really remember how this idea morphed into Everyday Expertise. But somewhere in there, I got the idea that it would be interesting to have people that I know onto the show and interview them, spend maybe a considerable amount of time, an hour or two, asking them about their career or their hobby. And as soon as I got that idea, a whole bunch of people that I know well popped into my mind, and different ideas of what I could ask them about. And so that's kind of where the idea grew from. And I really enjoy asking people about what they do or about their hobbies, and asking them questions, learning everything I can. So it seemed like a natural idea for me, and something I was really excited about.
I forget what the exact quote is that you sent, but something along the lines of like, everyone you meet in life has something to teach you or knows something you don't.
And everyone's an expert on their own situation. Like,
Exactly.
No one knows their story better than them. And so we can learn something from everyone's story. So that's the goal, is for me to learn from the people that I interview, that I talk to. And then hopefully that if people start listening to the podcast, they can learn something from conversations as well.
What can people expect to gain from listening to this podcast?
The biggest thing that I think they'll get is a certain topic. So learning about, if they're interested in learning more about business or music or graphic design, they can listen to a specific episode and learn a lot about that. But I'm also hoping that there'll be some people that will just enjoy listening to episodes that maybe they didn't realize that they didn't think they were interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And then learn a lot about that from my conversation with whoever that person is. And maybe it'll just be that they gain more knowledge about that specific topic. Maybe they'll be able to be more knowledgeable and more informed when they're in a conversation down the road. Or maybe it will spark interest in someone changing their idea of what their career is going to be, or adding something to their skills and their learning that they hadn't thought about before. So it's the goal is to inspire and inform listeners, and hopefully that everyone that listens will learn something from a specific episode. That was a brief preview of what to expect from the Everyday Expertise podcast. I would love for you to connect with the show. Email me at contact@everydayexpertise.ca, or check out the website at everydayexpertise.ca. New episodes will be released every week on Friday morning, beginning on July 3rd, 2020. I hope you will join me to learn from the expertise of everyday people.